Hey coaches, check this out. I'm gonna share with you the coaching habits checklist that if you follow every day will put you in the 1% of elite coaches. It's gonna get your clients the best results, the best experience, and help you grow your business. All right, so back to Coach's Corner. But here's the deal. So this is a checklist, and I've gone through something like a little bit more in depth of this. I wanted to give you kind of like a play-by-play, I would say, what to do every single day when you coach, whether it's your semi-private personal training, your group training. This goes for all of them. And these are kind of like my habits. And by the way, I'm going to drop down here so I can use these pens. But think about this. Whatever you focus, grows. Whatever you kind of shine a light on is going to be top of mind. It's going to be that seed in your head. And so on a daily basis, this is the mistake a lot of people make, right? You don't have a compass. To me, this is a daily compass, right? And really trying to kind of share it with our coaches to make sure that this is the thing they go through on a daily basis. It's almost like a checklist, right? So we'll kind of check every point. And by the way, I would go through this, whether it's like a laminated card, you have it on your computer, you have it in your journal. It's like a thing that you look at every day because it puts you in a certain state. It gives you a certain intent. And again, I start with intent for the day. Now, what is it for me? I'll share it with you, right? I ask myself and I say, what would the greatest coach, the number one coach in the world do, right? Just like you have that band that says, what would Jesus do? In a coaching situation, you go like, hey, what would the best coach in the world do, right? And it's like, it makes you go, you know what? They wouldn't like only get 3 hours of sleep a night and then not be prepared, right? They wouldn't have like low energy and come and bring their problems to the clients like, oh, woe is me. Like they wouldn't do any of those things, right? So you kind of you just flip the switch. And I like to, hear there's people in my life that I'm like, they're aspirational to me. And sometimes they are in a coaching space. Sometimes they're, I would say, not necessarily in the coaching space. But there are people that I would say I collect the role models, right? So I always say, like, collect role models, hunt for skill sets. So I go like, hey, what would this person do? How would they show up? How would they operate, right? So that I put myself in that state. If I'm having, by the way, you're going to have a crappy day. Things are going to happen. Life is hard sometimes. The kicker is to be pro, you have to turn pro and show up pro. Like you had a tough day, you're still going to bring your best. You're going to bring your best energy, right? And then afterwards, you'll deal with your emotions. But that's what our job is. So have an intent for the day. Again, you can do a lot of different things. For me, it's like, what would the best coach in the world do is the question I ask myself. From there, it's like being proactive and not reactive. I talked about this preparation principle. It's like where the next day, like there's certain days that I have, I run 4 businesses. I coach a lot. Like I coach 60 semi-privates per week, 5 classes, pros. I got NFL, WNBA right now, college, a lot of different things. And there's days where I'm like, I have a lot more coaching. And guess what? I prepare a lot more, right? Meaning my programs are ready. Like in my head, I'm like, I know which story I'm going to tell. I got my 4x6 cards where it's like, that's my second brain. I've talked about this before, where I'm going to have things outlined. So it's like, if I kind of get off track a little bit or I'm running a little behind, boom, pull out my card. Okay, who's up next? What do we have? What's up for warm-ups, right? Like I want to feel very confident because I have prepared. And the thing is, when you're reactive, guess what? People will know because then you're like, somebody comes in and they're coming in late and you don't have your stuff prepared and you get like a deer in headlights. And the thing is like now you don't look as pro and people can tell, right? And you got to make sure that you're so prepared that people can't, like, even again, that if something does go off, nobody knows that, like, you're so prepped that you're smoothing it all out, right? So by the way, if you just show up for your training sessions and you're not prepared, like the customer, the client is not going to get the best experience. So you got to be proactive with stuff. You have to think about what could happen, right? Hey, some people are going to run late. This is going to happen. Hey, some equipment won't be available. Like, what are the things that you're going to do? Like, already be proactive about it. This is the basics, but so important. Greet clients by name and use it often during the training session. We've talked about it in our other video when I talk about running a group training session, saying everybody's name at least 5 times. If I got a team training session, right, I'm also looking up people's names. Are there new people in class? I look into our Vagaro software. Who's new? Okay, cool. I want to make sure I meet them, greet them beforehand, say their name, and then throughout the training session, I'm going to say their name. Obviously, people that you already know, still the most beautiful sound to a client is their name, to anybody, right? So make sure you're using it. You can't, it's very, very difficult to overdo it unless you do, you're doing weird shit like, hey, Ken, what's up, Ken? Ken. Yeah, that might be weird. But if I'm here coaching and I'm like, hey, Ken, push that ground away. Great job, buddy. great job, right? Boom, and then I'm going around. Mary, hey, listen, like that's awesome. Push your hips back a little bit more. I'm gonna block your knees, right? We wanna do that, and we wanna make it such a habit out of it that, again, it becomes like your foundational baseline, right? And you will run better sessions. Train coach at all times. Work the training floor. Man, I go around a lot, and like, I tell you what, I don't see this a lot. So if I have again, whether it's a small group session, whether it's my semi-private training, always be coaching, ABC. Always be connecting, right? At all times, I'm coaching, all right? Cool, great, I'm gonna change the angle. Awesome, great work, boom, now I'm here, right? Throughout that session, I should be constantly coaching, okay? And by the way, if somebody recorded you, right, like just following you, like Tyler's, I would say recording me right now, but it was like the whole session, guess what? I should be able to see, like nonstop, you're doing this, working the training floor. And I'll get to this in a second, but like, for example, last week, I had 4 new people, 4 new people in about an hour and a half period with all my other clients in semi-private, right? Definitely more intensive of training them. I went to the other clients like, hey, I got some new folks today. I'm gonna spend some more time with them, just letting you know. So I'm gonna split that time. By the way, at any point in time, come and ask me the question. Any point in time you need me, just let me know. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm gonna spend some more time with them, right? But I'm still, like I'm helping them out, right? I'm getting them set up. Okay, cool, they're doing their drills. All right, boom. I'm off here to like some, I would say long-term clients, which is going like, hey, you can bump that weight up. That's looking really good today. Like your 6 from last week, this is way stronger. Go up 10 pounds per side. Awesome, great job, Fernando. Right, like I'm constantly moving. If you find yourself stuck on your phone or doing no bueno, right? We gotta be coaching at all times. Okay, minimize blind spots. Keep eyes on clients at all times. You know, what that means is like, we have a big gym. When I have a lot of, for instance, there's days where I will have like 6, 7, 8 semi-private clients. Some people are deadlifting. Some people are over here squatting. So I always want to make sure I minimize it. Obviously, there's going to be times if somebody's pushing the sled, I feel a lot more confident, especially for conditioning. I'm like, I don't have to worry about that too much. Now, I'm going to keep an eye out, but guess what? This person's safety bar is squatting to box. I'm going to keep an eye out on them more. I got the new person that's doing a split squat. I'm going to coach them up a little bit more, right? But I have no blind spots, right? I'm always seeing what's going on throughout the whole gym, right? And again, constantly checking. And that's, by the way, that's why it's called coaching habits, right? We have to develop that habit. Demo clearly and often. I don't care. So this is, you know, you've been coaching somebody for 7 years, doesn't matter. Still demo it. Maybe you won't have to demo it as much for somebody that's new, but still show stuff, because as Donald Miller says, people have to hear something 8 times for it to just register. Not for them to remember it, for it to just register, right? So the amount of times that I've been in class and I literally have to reset myself as if it's my first time coaching, right? I'm coming in and it's like I see the class. 85% of the people have done at least 100 sessions here at Vigor. Guess what I'm doing when I'm like goblet squat? All right, guys, listen, I'm still seeing the elbows flare out. I want to go pack those elbows down, crush that bell, so create core tension. I'm going to go soft knees first, right? So soft knees first, and then butt goes down, right? Stand as upright as possible. Remember, I want you to pull yourself down as if I'm using my hip flexors to get down into that position, and I'm pushing the ground away, right? And it's like deja vu. I just said it the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and 3,500 days before that every day, right? So this is, again, a part of your habit system. Demonstrate clearly, because people will revert back to old ways. So we have to ingrain these really, really high level, quality, foundational reps. So push up, hey, spread your fingers. I want you to push through the knuckle into the ground, right? Make sure to turn the elbows out, chest tall, pack that chin, pull yourself down into that position. Again, the amount of times I've said it, you have to, again, just do it, continuously do it with enthusiasm, regardless of how many times you repeat it yourself. That's part of what we do, right? We want to control the room, show presence, because, again, people do want to be led when it comes to coaching, right? Guys, slow down. Everybody slow down your squat. Okay, we got 75 seconds on this finisher. Slow it down. Here's how I want you to do it. I want you to go at this pace, right? Down slow, up slow. All right, great job. Boom, boom, I'm going there. Hey, Tim, push that. Guys, listen, let's do another 30 seconds on the stretches. I'm owning the room, right? My presence is known, but not because I'm trying to be like, woe is me, but because I want to guide and coach and control, right? I don't want to let things get out of whack, right? Because when you start doing that, even in class a lot of times, like I want it to be fun, I want it to be challenging, but if I got like a lot of people gossiping, guess what I'm going to do? Hey guys, everybody can't hear and their experience is not good because you guys are chatting. Please like respect it because we want to make sure everybody has a great experience and I don't want you to not know what you're doing. Okay, cool? All right, thank you, appreciate it. Boom, I'm back at it. Okay, and the thing is, this is this big reason why I would say I took a lot of, I started with Toastmasters and I did a lot of speaking, but I did course stuff and mastermind with Roger Love. I was doing a lot of stuff even for my voice to be able to be better at that, right? Because coaching, guess what we got to do a lot, right? In the morning, I didn't put that up here. Maybe I'm gurgling some yolks, who knows, right? Opera. Oh. But the point is that we do want to, if you want to become a great coach and you run groups, you run semi-privates, like you have to think about these things and you have to develop these things. Okay, head on a swivel, right? Don't get stuck in tunnel vision. What does getting stuck in tunnel vision means? So let's say I got 5 semi-privates and all of a sudden I have a conversation with one of the clients. I get pulled in, all right, boom, 5-6 minutes goes by. 4 people now have not my head has not been on a swivel. I haven't seen what they're doing. Maybe there was a difficult technical exercise somebody ended up doing, but I'm zoned out here, right? Where I can definitely have a conversation. Absolutely. Hey, you know what, Tim, I'm just going to help Mary. I'll be back real quick. Hey, hold that thought. Boom, Mary, I'm coaching Mary up. Great job, great rep. Okay, take a break. During that break, let's do a couch stretch with breathing. That one, yep, awesome, great. Hey, what you were saying? Like, I have to, this is part of it, right? This is part of being able to create a great experience. Like, I don't want to, remember, ABC, always be connecting, but ABC, always be coaching comes first, always be connecting comes second, because again, we want to make sure we manage our clients so that they're doing exercises, they're working hard, and then in between, we are doing that connection part. But that's why we want to have a head on a swivel, right? You get stuck in tunnel vision. The other part of it too is just like, you're watching one person and it's like 3 minutes, you're just watching one person. And head on a swivel just means like, okay, they're doing fine. They're doing fine. Oh, hold up. Let me run over there and coach them up real quick, right? And again, this is not easy. That's why I said these are the coaching habits of the top 1%, the elite. From there, identify the most risky technical exercise and focus on them. Absolutely. So like, for example, if I got somebody doing a static lunge, that's not going to take precedence over maybe a heavy squat or a trap bar deadlift where somebody's going for a hard 3. So I'm going to identify that, right? I've taught somebody the kettlebell snatch, and they're decent at it, but guess what? That's going to take precedence over a sled push, okay? Not saying that you can't coach up a sled push for better form, but guess what? Which one is more technical? Which one's more risky? So I'm going to go in these and go like, hey, same thing, hollow hold. I can definitely coach it, but it's not a risky exercise, right? There's just so many things that nothing's going to go wrong, even if they don't have the best form in the world. But there are exercises where things can go wrong, and so I want to make sure I always identify those. And a lot of times I might say, hey, Tim, hold off for 30 seconds. Do the ankle mobilization real quick that I showed you. I'm just going to coach this deadlift up real quick. Boom, Leia's going for her PR3. All right, let's go. Crush those lats. Long elbows, flex the triceps. Start ramping up. All right, I want you to start pushing the ground away. Don't go yet. All right, drive, right? Like, boom, she gets her 3. Yes, let's go. Awesome work. Boom. All right, full break, full rest period. Bam, and I'm going forward. Right, that was identified the risky exercise. Now I can move around. Right, maybe they don't have the next set until like in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Maybe it's the end of their sets period. Right, so always think about that. By the way, which if you're prepared, you'll be able to also know what exercises do which people have. Oh, this is a beginner. They just have goblet squats. They have TRX row. They have a supported static lunge. Right, nothing's crazy risky here. Okay, you got to be like this. Kind of what I'm doing right now, which is be a personality and social chameleon, right? Because you have different people. So some people you have better relationships with, and you can go like, man, just don't play with me. Go up and wait, right? Don't fuck around, Tim. Like, come on, push it, right? But then all of a sudden I'm going to somebody that's new. It's like, hey, Jenny, how you doing? How was last session? You're a little bit sore from last session? Yeah, I know we talked about that. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to feel a lot better. We're going to get you on the bike. Like, I'm much more calm, mellow. I haven't built as much rapport yet and trust with this person. My tonality is going to be different, right? But then I'm going to, boom, go over here and be like, hey, you guys, fucking stop talking. Let's go, come on, right? Like, and it'll be fine because I built that rapport with them, and they're going to go like, oh, shit, let's get it together. Luka's pissed, right? And I have to be that person. And again, my whole goal is always build rapport to help them buy into the next step, right? Because it's like if they buy into what we're doing, they're going to do it and they're going to get the results. And again, it's going to help them out. It's going to help you out. So it's a double whammy. By the way, this is, I love a book. I mentioned it before. It's called The Charisma Myth. I'm not going to dive into it too deep, but definitely read that. That's going to help you with, again, just with charisma, with personality, and being able to change that. Change coaching angles. One of the things that I see a lot of is like that folks will just stand and watch from one thing. Now, just in general, Christian Thibodeau always said like 180-degree coaching, right? So I'm looking at that deadlift, and I'm looking at it from this angle right here because I see different. Then I'm going to go to the side. I might go to the back depending on like if I'm watching a squat. I'm like, man, something seems off. I go to the back. I'm like, oh, they're shifting. Hey, drive through your right heel. Boom. And it's like that 180-degree coaching. And by the way, like not only is the client going to be like, damn, okay, this person's getting all the angles and they're really, right? And the thing is, I'm not making this shit up from just to be like, oh, I look like I'm coaching. Yes, it's going to bump up confidence of the client, but I am trying to really see what's going on. Like, by the way, an assessment, I was just going through Mike Robertson stuff, right? We're looking at stuff, like if I take a picture, I'm looking front, side, back, or at an angle because I can see certain things. Same thing, I'm looking at a static lunge. I'm going to look at it from the front, then I'm going to go at this angle, I'm going to go from the side, right? To see everything, to see what I would say, how the exercise is looking and then coach it up and change it. So again, change those coaching angles, same thing in a group setting, right? I'm moving around. I'm looking at a person doing this. You know what? Get a little bit taller right there. No, push through the inside line of the foot, right? I didn't see it from this angle, but I see it from this angle now, okay? It's going to level up your coaching, and it's going to make them feel better. Give and ask for feedback more often. This is one of the hardest ones, I would say, but being able to text afterwards like, hey, how you feeling? Did you like that? When I did this, how did you like that? How did you like that session? Is there anything that you'd like to see? Is there anything that you'd like to change? Right? And this goes for the client, but also another coach, a manager, the GM, whatever it may be, right? Like, first of all, when you ask, it shows that you want to get better. That's what it shows me, right? So if you're like, hey, like when you watch that session, even if I was going to give feedback, it's like, hey, what did you see? What do you think I can improve on, right? And that doesn't show low confidence. Actually, I would say it's the opposite, especially if you do it the right way. Hey, like, I'm always trying to get better. If I would love to hear from you. Like, what are some things that you would like to see more of, right? What do you love? Hey, what do you love? But then what would you also like to see more of? Don't be afraid of that. Like, there's such a powerful thing. And I believe that clients appreciate it and are like, hell yeah, like, man, I love that, right? Stay ready. Stay ready. Now, look, this is, a book I reread every year from Stephen Pressfield. Actually, two different books. One is called The War of Art, and the other one's called Turning Pro. And the turning pro, staying ready, turning pro is like, what does turning pro look like? If I go to basketball, it's like the guys that are pro, right? Guess what? They're putting up extra shots. They got their skills coach. They do their strength and conditioning. They get their nutrition and their supplements. They get their sleep. They're doing their recovery training, right? They're pro. Like they're doing all the little things that get them the big things in life. We talk about preparation, but again, it's like, look, sometimes, last week I felt like not feeling very well. Let's just put it that way for a number of reasons, health stuff, family stuff. And, I had a very busy coaching schedule and I needed to show up. And basically before I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to shave. I'm going to do all the pampering and stuff because I want to get myself in a better state. We talk about motion creates emotion, right? I got dressed up. I bought a new shirt. And I was like, man, internally I was not feeling that great, but I was like, man, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be pro. Nobody's going to know, right? And I came in, I coached my butt off for 4 hours, had a lot of clients, right? And then I went back home and had to rest and recover and, take meds and do all types of stuff. But my point being is like, these are all pro things. Like, what do pros do? What do the highest level pros do? I remember having Kyle Dobbs on a podcast who was doing a seminar here with Compound Performance. And he just said a really, really good thing when I asked him, say, hey, how do you become, when you were at Equinox, like what made you become really successful? And he said, I found the top 2 performers at the gym, meaning they had the most clients, they retained the most clients, they got the best results, they made the most money. and I watched what they did. I watched everything that they did. And I literally mirrored that. Oh, they came in at 5 a.m., they left at 8 p.m. They did this. They trained at this time. They did this with their clients, right? They were like, those guys were the most pro guys, and I just watched what they did, right? So think about, that's why I started to with intent for the day. Like, who's aspirational to you? How do they do stuff, right? Like, pick it out. Like, if they're on social media, watch their channel. If they're on YouTube, and I mean, this is why I do this. This is why I share this. So it's like, hey, I want to give you what I'm doing, my mistakes, the good things, and like what I've learned over the years to become great at my craft and continue to try to improve at it. Because guess what? If you do that, you will stand out. So turn pro, okay? And this, last but not least, is just do a readiness check with your clients before every session. Again, this could be in forms of, I just like asking the questions. Hey, how did you sleep last night? On a scale of 1 to 5. How are you feeling? What's your soreness level like? What's your energy like? Right? How's your food been? Because the thing is, now I just get like, a readiness. Again, you don't have to, could you do a score? Absolutely. But you kind of get more of a, how prepared are you? Like, oh man, like I slept 4 hours like at last night. The soreness is like worse than it is usually, but hey, I played like, the whole Saturday, Sunday, I played golf, got tons of, rounds in, and then we had some drinks, and okay, cool. Well, we had, it was going to be our very high intensity week, right? We have high, medium, very high, low. Whew, let's tune it down a little bit, right? And the thing is, because now you change the session up, they feel better. They don't feel as beat up, right? Obviously, we can improve the session for them, but it's also like hearing them out, right? Like, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm hearing you. I understand you. Got it. Okay. Like, very, very important factor, and it takes minutes, right? Minutes, like a little conversation, a little rapport building at the beginning of the training session, but very, very, very powerful, right? So, by the way, I want you, like this list, right? This list, I want you to read the list. I want you every single damn day, read this list. Like, I want you to become this, because it should almost be a guiding compass, because if you start doing this every day, and by the way, you won't be phenomenal and great at it the first day. No. Like, but guess what? You create intent, you create a focus, you give yourself a compass, and you practice the skill sets of this, and you get better and better and better, right? And if you keep doing this for the next year, and then hit me up and tell me where you are, because guess what? I guarantee you, you'll have more results, you have more referrals, you have more clients, you have a bigger, I would say, better business. And that's what I want. I want you to be successful, and I want your clients to become successful, because that's how we kind of spread what we do, which is what our mission is. All right, so promise me, again, you'll take action on this, you'll actually work on it, and then you'll hit me up and let me know how you've improved. With that said, if you want more tips like this, more education like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We'll see you next time in Coach's Corner. Coach Luka, peace out.